Welcome to the channel, folks. Today we're going to do a quick video on dust filtration. And essentially what we have here is 4 parts. I carry them in my trailer. Great for a garage or for home use if you're inside having to cut. Like I'm inside this house, we're trimming, and it's really nice to trap all that dust instead of breathing it, of course. And also the cleanup. When I get ready to leave, cleanup is so minimal. A little light sweeping. Everything, all the sawdust is captured in here. Of course, you got the vacuum to draw the air through the 25-foot hose that I have here. You don't have to have a hose this big. I like it. It gets me all over the room if I need to vacuum something else. And then I have the controller switch over here that will control the on and off, automatic on and off of the vacuum when a power tool like my miter saw is turned on. Stick around, I'll show you how it works. So this is the brains of the operation. This is the controller that senses the electricity coming from the miter saw and automatically cuts on the vacuum. You can get this on Amazon. I think I paid $35 for it, if I remember correctly. But up here, you just plug your vacuum into this thing that says vacuum power. I'll plug, for instance, my miter saw into tool power. Then you have an auxiliary for whatever you want to use it for. It's just an extra plug. You have 2 circuit breakers here in case something goes wrong and you overload the circuit. It won't damage the unit. And then you have an auto, an off, and an on. So when you're running it, you'll turn this to the auto position. So the first thing I do is just take a splitter like this. It's just a standard splitter, three-way that you can get at any big box store. You don't have to have that. You can buy something cheaper like this. This is also a splitter, very inexpensive. And plug it in to the power source. Take these 2 guys, which are the 2 leads off the controller box. Plug those in. And then, as we shown in the earlier video, we're going to do tool power into here and vacuum power into here. So I'm going to take the cord coming from the vacuum and I'm going to plug it into this one that says vacuum power. And then I'm going to go grab my cord from the miter saw. And I'm going to plug that into, you can see this, the tool power. So I've got vacuum plugged into the vacuum power, tool plugged into the tool power. I don't have any auxiliary that I want to run at the time. And I've got the on-off switch to the auto position. All right, that takes care of that. So in the dust topper, you pull it off. Got 2 clips on either side. And you can see in here all the sawdust that I've collected in here. It's about 1/4, maybe 1/3 full. So essentially any 5-gallon bucket will do. You have the dust topper here. It creates a sort of like a tornado kind of effect in here. It swirls the dust through as it comes in. And then anything that's light, like the sawdust, will come out here and deposit in the bucket. If you notice, I've got some black electrical tape around the top of this bucket. That's the only issue I've had, is that the seal around here, around the top of this plastic dust topper, is not very good. So it was losing suction, and I just took some tape and electrical tape and wrapped it around. This top, let's see. Yep, it's got the dust topper logo up here. And if you notice, it's kind of the Home Depot color. And so I got it off the Home Depot website. Didn't pay too much for it. It's like 40 bucks, I think. And so you just snap it back on any 5-gallon bucket. By the way, there are many manufacturers of this type of device, and so you can get out there and there's one called the Cyclone, and I forget the names of the others. There's about 4 on the market right now. So the key is just to get it seated really well. Take the end of the hose, vacuum hose. I don't have the other end hooked up yet. I'm just showing you this end first, and then I'll just pop this in there, put it on. I bought this hose separately. It was like $5, $8, I think, on Amazon. And all you do is just measure your openings, like to the vacuum cleaner and to here, and pick the right hose adapter or the right hose opening size. So I've just secured that to the vacuum, and now I'm going to secure this in to the top of the dust topper. And I'll go around back, finish the setup, and then just explain the whole thing. All right, here's the full setup. I usually tuck this thing under the miter saw stand. There's the power controller, tool power, vacuum power plugged in. And if we go back here, you can see where the vacuum is plugged into, or the vacuum hose from the vacuum itself is into the top of the dust topper. Then out of the dust topper on this side, this hose goes to the back of the miter saw. So really all I did was plug this hose into this part of the dust topper, and then this part of the dust topper into the vacuum. And these connections are really nice. You can get them as accessories with the hose when you purchase it. Go and check those out. And the last thing is to make sure that your vacuum is in the on position. All right, everything's hooked up. You can do this complete setup in less than a minute. And I'm going to demonstrate it for you. I'm going to go up and trigger the saw. The vacuum will cut on, and what you'll notice is once I release the power trigger to the saw, the vacuum will run for an additional several seconds to clear out any remaining dust that might be in the hose, which is a nice feature. So let's turn it on. And now you're collecting dust into a container that does not get into the room. And also, I forgot to mention, I do have a vacuum bag that lasts forever because the bag is rarely collecting any dust in it, sawdust, but it does act as a filtration. You can buy filtration bags that filter out a certain micron, and that's what I've got in there. So just wanted to show you that. It's quick and easy. Highly recommend it. And clean up afterwards when I get ready to go today will be a minor sweep of the floor. And actually, I'll vacuum the floor with another floor attachment that I bought separately and using the same setup so the dust is trapped. Thank you very much, folks.